Hello everyone and welcome to the Den. This week we're going to be making 7-layer dip. This is something I make on occasion. My family loves this and it's awesome to take to parties, even for like if you had an Easter brunch or any type of summer party where you need to bring the appetizer. This is an excellent recipe because you can make this the day before and stick it in the fridge and then finish it the next day and you're on your way. So I love this recipe and it's very versatile. You can use different ingredients if you wanted to, switch it up some, and I'll talk about that in the video. But for now, let's get cooking. Okay, so first thing that you're gonna wanna do here is preheat your oven to 350 degrees. This recipe comes together pretty quick. Your first layer is refried beans, and I'm just using 1 can, but you could use 2 if you wanted this to be thicker. If I was taking this to a party, I would definitely use 2 cans of beans for just added bulk. And then you're gonna wanna have your ground beef going here too. And this was, I defrosted this, so it's still a little bit frozen, but I'm gonna try to get this pretty spread out so I can add some seasonings to this. So I just try to get spread out as much as I can before I add my seasonings. And the first seasoning I'm going to use is granulated onion, and I'm just going to sprinkle that over the top just to cover the bits. And then I also do the same thing with granulated onion. I don't use any salt or pepper here because the taco seasoning has salt in it, so it's plenty enough salt. So as I'm cooking my ground beef, I want to get this into a pretty small crumble because this is going to be your second layer and you don't want too big of chunks of hamburger when you're trying to, use chips to, as your scoops for your dip. So I just make sure that it's pretty fine crumble. And once it's completely browned, then I'll add my taco seasoning. This is about a pound of hamburger here, so I would use 1 packet of taco seasoning. And then once you've added your water, you just want to let this simmer and reduce down so that it's not too watery. Just follow the directions on your seasoning packet. And that's what we're doing here. And I'm just going to let this simmer until it's at the thickness that I desire. It only takes a few minutes. And then you're going to add that to your refried bean layer and just spread it out as evenly as you can. And it comes together, like I said, this recipe comes together pretty fast. So once that's spread out and distributed pretty evenly, you're going to want to go in with your salsa verde. You could also use enchilada sauce. You could use red or green sauce, or you could use a large can of green chilies. I typically used to make this with the green chilies, and it's so good with that too. But I tend to like the salsa verde. And I think it spreads nicely too, but you could use any one of those if you have those on hand. And I just try to spread it out as evenly as possible so it's evenly distributed. So, as people take a scoop of dip, they're getting all the flavors. And then your next layer is going to be your cheese. And this is the only cheese that you're going to use here. So I use about at least a cup and a half. And I'm using up the rest of this bag here, and then I actually had to open another bag and just finished it off. So I just like a nice layer of cheese on top. Again, I just, go with how it looks by measuring here. And so after you get all your cheese on, you're going to pop this in your oven. There's my cat. He's afraid of the heat, so he won't jump in there. But as you can see, he's looking like it smells really good, right? So anyway, let that bake for about 15 to 20 minutes. Keep an eye on it. Once it's bubbly and melted, it's good enough to go. Now, I serve this warm because my family likes it warm. So I take a scoop and I put whatever toppings my family wants on it. But if you're going to take this, what's so great about this recipe is that once it comes out of the oven, let it cool for 5 or 10 minutes and then cover it and put it in your fridge for a few hours. Or you could do this the day before. Now, the rest of the layers would be a layer of sour cream, a layer of guacamole if you wish, a layer of shredded lettuce, some diced tomatoes, black olives, and green onions if you chose. Now you could omit any of those if you didn't like those, but that is what makes the rest of our layers. It's actually more than 7 layers, but we all know it as 7-layer dip, and this turns out so well, and I just serve it with a side of chips and we're good to go for dinner. Okay everyone, so that's going to do it for this recipe. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you give this one a shot. This one I think is a little different than other 7-layer dips, but it is really good and it is a crowd favorite. Anytime I take this to any type of occasion, people love it. So I think that it's awesome for any event that you have to go to, any summer barbecue, like I said in the beginning. And thank you all for subscribing. Thank you all for who watch and stick with me. And if you aren't already subscribed, please think about hitting that subscribe button. It helps me out so much to grow this channel. So until next time, I'll see you in the next video.